All right, so welcome everyone to this Raising Our Vibration meditation for Saturday, September 6th, 2025, or Sunday the 7th, if you're on the other side of our planet. And thank you to all who've joined us live on Zoom. We have a nice group gathered live on Zoom, and I'm going to let another person in there. And thank you to Enlightened World Network for hosting us on your wonderful platform. For those of you who don't know, Enlightened World Network hosts a guided meditation every day, and you can check that out both on their Facebook page and also on their YouTube page. All right, so we have a wonderful practice for today. And this practice is based on some reading I've been doing, the Tao of Physics, an exploration of the parallels between modern physics and Eastern mysticism. So this is the 50th anniversary of this book, and it just came out in the 50th anniversary edition. And I originally read this book back in 1984, which kind of seeded that awakening experience that you may have heard me describe when I was in the desert. So I was reading this book at that time, and I think that had a lot to do with opening up the experience I had there. But in this 50th anniversary, he gives a new forward and a new afterward. And interestingly, in the last 50 years, people have asked him, well, have things changed in physics? Have they invalidated what you were writing about 50 years ago? And actually, he's found that physics has even more so validated all the points that he was making in this book over the last 50 years. So it's even more pertinent today as it was then. So let me begin by reading some portions of the book. And it's hard to just pick out little sections, but I want to give you a flavor from beginning to end and just picking out some quotes in the book. So let me do a little reading from Fritjof Capra in the Tao of Physics. In the preface, he says, I have come to believe that the recognition of the similarities between modern physics and Eastern mysticism is part of a much larger movement, of a fundamental change of worldviews or paradigms, which is now happening throughout the world and which amounts to a profound cultural transformation. In the next page, it involves a profound shift in perspective from seeing the world as a machine composed of elementary building blocks to understanding it as a network of inseparable patterns of relationship. Over on page 51, he says, quantum theory has demolished the classical concepts of solid objects and of strictly deterministic laws of nature. At the subatomic level, the solid material objects of classical physics dissolve into wave-like patterns of probabilities. And these patterns ultimately do not represent probabilities of things, but rather probabilities of interconnections. A careful analysis of the process of observation in atomic physics has shown that the atomic particles have no meaning as isolated entities, but can only be understood as interconnections. Quantum theory thus reveals a basic oneness of the universe. It shows that we cannot decompose the world into independently existing smallest units. As we penetrate into matter, nature does not show us any isolated basic building blocks, but rather appears as a complicated web of relations between the various parts of the whole. These relations always include the observer in an essential way. Keep that in mind as we go along. Page 70. The illusion of separation merely lies in our point of view. If we think that the shapes and structures, things and events around us are realities of nature, instead of realizing that they are concepts of our measuring and categorizing minds. Maya is the illusion of taking these concepts for reality, of confusing the map with the territory. As long as our view of the world is fragmented, as long as we are under the spell of Maya and think that we are separated from our environment and can act independently, we are bound by karma. Being free from the bond of karma means to realize the unity and harmony of all nature, including ourselves, and to act accordingly. On 272, in the Eastern view, then, as in the view of modern physics, everything in the universe is connected to everything else, and no part of it is fundamental. The properties of any part are determined not by some fundamental law, but by the properties of all the other parts together. Both physicists and mystics realize the resulting impossibility of fully explaining any phenomenon. But then they take different attitudes. Physicists, as discussed before, are satisfied with an approximate understanding of nature. The Eastern mystics, on the other hand, are not interested in approximate or relative knowledge. They are concerned with absolute knowledge, involving an understanding of the totality of life. Being well aware of the essential interrelationship of the universe, they realize that to explain something means ultimately to show how it is connected to everything else. As this is impossible to show, in other words, you couldn't describe every possible connection that to explain something because the universe is infinite. So as explaining is impossible, the Eastern mystics insist that no single phenomenon can be explained. All things in their fundamental nature are not nameable or explicable. In other words, you can't take them out of the whole and explain them. One more person in. They cannot be adequately expressed in any form of language. The Eastern sages, therefore, are generally not interested in explaining things, but rather in obtaining a direct, non-intellectual experience of the unity of all things. To free the human mind from words and explanations is one of the main aims of Eastern mysticism. As long as we try to explain things, we are bound by karma, trapped in our conceptual network. To transcend words and explanations means to break the bonds of karma and attain liberation. And in his conclusion, he says, scientific knowledge, on the other hand, can often stay abstract and theoretical. Thus, most of today's physicists do not seem to realize the philosophical, cultural, and spiritual implications of their own theories. Many of them actively support a society which is still based on the mechanistic, fragmented worldview, without seeing that science points beyond such a view toward a oneness of the universe, which includes not only our natural environment, but also our fellow human beings. I believe that the worldview implied by modern physics is inconsistent with our present society, which does not reflect the harmonious interrelatedness we observe in nature. To achieve such a state of dynamic balance, a radically different social and economic structure will be needed, a cultural revolution in the true sense of the word. The survival of our whole civilization may depend on whether we can bring about such a change. It will depend ultimately on our ability to adopt some of the yin attitudes of Eastern mysticism, to experience the wholeness of nature and the art of living with it in harmony. So some beautiful words from Fritjof Capra in the Tao of Physics. And so we're going to use that as a backdrop for our meditation practice today. And we're going to do this in 3 stages. And the first is first we'll go through our usual meditation cues, but then we're going to tune into the momentary nature of experience, how experience is moments that arise within or from the activity of the whole field. So anything that arises in consciousness, any experience we have, is the result of the activity of the whole field. Every experience is inseparable from the whole field within which it arises. And so that's the second aspect, to get a feeling for how anything arises from everything. Okay, so that's the second layer of our practice. And the third layer is to realize in a felt sense that the whole field, all of this activity arises in consciousness itself. And that's taking it beyond what the Tao of Physics has stated there. That's a foundation in physics, and some physicists are willing to make this next step, which is made in Advaita Vedanta. And I'm going to read that step to you now. In Advaita Vedanta, consciousness or pure awareness is understood as the fundamental, unchanging substrate of reality, from which the entire phenomenal world, including the mind and body, appears to arise. It is the ultimate reality, Brahma, that is non-dual, all-pervasive, and the source of all existence and experience, functioning as a projection screen upon which the illusion of individual selves and the material world is superimposed. So what that means is that consciousness itself is the substance of reality and the substance of our experience. We are expressions of consciousness. All of this is an expression of consciousness. And that is known because none of this, we would have no experience at all if it wasn't arising in awareness. There would be no experience. Awareness is the fundamental substrate of experience. Otherwise, we would not know anything at all. We would have no experience at all. Okay, so that's a lot of words. And fundamentally, as the Eastern mystics say, words cannot capture this reality. Words can only point to the experience. So let's go right into our meditation experience and really feel into this. All right. So as always, let's sit comfortably upright. Let's have our feet firmly on the ground if that is comfortable for you. Have your hands resting cupped in your lap with the tips of your thumbs touching. That gives you a nice, open, receptive posture. And when you're ready, lightly close your eyes. And just take a moment to settle in your seat. And be present inside your body. So you're tuning in inside. And just notice whatever is present in awareness. So you may notice sounds in your environment. You may notice lingering thoughts or feelings, sensations in your body. And you're just resting, open, aware, allowing all of this to flow through. All these moments of experience arising and dissolving in the awareness that you are. And as we begin our practice together, let's dedicate it to the benefit of all beings. That we all might come to a deeper felt sense of our oneness, of our essential nature as awareness itself. Which is always peaceful, open, free, boundless, and timeless. An open space within which all the moments of experience arise and into which they dissolve. Now we're going to journey more deeply into that awareness. First, by feeling into a deeply embodied present moment awareness. First, focusing down into feeling the sensations of contact of the soles of your feet on the ground. So you might wiggle your toes or press your feet down to bring attention down here into your feet, down here into feeling the ground. Allow your feet and your toes to soften and relax, feeling as if they're melting deep down into the earth. Feel deep down into the consciousness of the earth. This deeply grounded presence in which we live. Allow that feeling of grounded presence to flow up through the soles of your feet, up through your shins and calves, up through your knees and thighs, into your hips and pelvic bowl, resting down in your seat. Feel the weight of your body resting down in your seat, resting down on the earth. Feel that deeply grounded presence in your abdomen, hips, and legs and feet. Focus into your palms and fingers resting cupped in your lap. Awaken sensory awareness here in your hands. And allow your hands to soften and relax as if they are melting down into your legs. Feel the soft openness in your hands, connected with the soft openness of your heart. Feel that soft, warm embrace of your hands and heart. Open to and embracing all moments of experience. And as your hands relax even more, allow your arms and shoulders to relax down, releasing any tension in your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Imagine and feel as if a string is attached to the top of your head, drawing your spine gently upright like a string of luminous pearls. Feel your spine gently stretched from your perineum and tailbone right up through the core of your body, through the center of your brain, up through the top of your head, like a stream of light flowing upwards, flowing up through the top of your head and opening to the vast, clear sky above. Feel the vast openness of the sky, opening your mind. Now tuck your chin just slightly, gently lengthening the back of your neck. Lightly close your lips and breathe in and out through your nose. Nasal breathing warms and purifies the air you breathe in. It increases energy and oxygenation. And it's calming to your nervous system. As you continue nasal breathing, rest your tongue up on the roof of your mouth, with the tip of your tongue touching the gum line behind your upper front teeth. Soften and relax your tongue here. Softening your tongue is another calming cue that sends a relaxation signal back along your tongue to the vagus nerve in the center of your brain. So as you soften and relax your tongue even more, feel that relaxed, alive presence flowing back along your tongue, back into the center of your brain, lighting up the center of your brain. With pure presence, pure aliveness. Breathe in through your upper nasal passages, all the way back into the center of your brain, into the pineal gland, and the origin of the vagus nerve in the center of your brain. Feel the energy in your breath, lighting up the center of your brain. Allow that signal of relaxed aliveness to flow down through your vagus nerve, flowing down through your neck, flowing down through your heart, relaxing, releasing any tension around your heart. Breathe in and out through your heart. Amplifying the signal here. Feel your heart lighting up like the sun. Feel the warm radiance of your heart shining out through every cell. Now allow that relaxed aliveness to flow down into your abdomen. And breathe deeply into your lower abdomen, feeling a downward pressure at your perineum and an outward pressure filling up your whole lower abdomen. And then relax and let go as you exhale. Breathe in, feeling that downward, outward, filling up with your breath. And breathe out, letting go. One more time, a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go completely. And feel your body as a whole from the inside. Feel the entire space inside and including your skin. Smile as you enjoy that feeling of relaxed, alive presence, spreading out through every cell, as if every cell is smiling, radiating pure positive energy. Fully alive, fully present, lit up with awareness. So now we've moved through a series of cues, a series of moments of experience, which layer together to help us feel embodied presence. Just tune in now to that feeling of presence, that awake awareness. And just notice whatever arises in awareness. Here you're letting go of controlling attention, letting go of controlling experience. And you're sitting present, open, noticing and feeling whatever arises. So you may notice different sensations, different sounds, thoughts or feelings. And you're tuning in with fine attention, noticing the arising and passing away of different moments of experience. And you're not directing this or controlling it, just observing and feeling what flows through. You may notice something becoming prominent in awareness, drawing attention to it. And you may notice that fades away as something else arises. And pay particular attention to sensations. What do you notice as you pay attention to and feel sensations? If a sensation becomes prominent, you may tune into it, add energy to it, and feel it more strongly. If you let go of trying to control that, you may notice it arises, increases, fluctuates, changes, and fades into another sensation. Now pay attention to how everything that arises from the whole field at once. There's no inside and no outside to moments of experience. They arise in and from the whole field. They're the activity of the whole field. As you tune into the whole field at once, you may notice multiple events arising and fading away. As presence awareness is sustained, through all these changing moments of experience, begin to feel that within which all this arises. The background, awareness itself, within which all these moments of experience arise, flow through, and dissolve. Now feel into this background, that within which all moments of experience arise. Become aware of awareness itself. What is awareness itself like? Open, vast, is there any boundary to awareness itself? No. There's no inside and no outside. Was there ever a time when awareness was not? Does awareness have a beginning or an end? No. is timeless, beyond time, beyond space. As that within which space and time arise. Feel out infinitely in all directions. And rest as awareness itself. Prior to form and content. Simply being aware. Still, silent, spacious. Vast. Your presence. Here. Now. Now feel the whole field of life arising in this vastness, permeated with awareness. Feel the space of your body as an open space through which moments of experience come and go. And whatever we focus on, we feel. It comes into being. Feel now the space of your body all the way out through the pores of your skin. It's as if your body just came into being. Feel your body within the space all around. No inside, no outside. It's as if your body dissolves. Now, tune in again within and notice how you feel. Notice that feeling of pure awareness within and all around. Feel the lightness of being. Maybe it's not so solid after all. Maintaining that felt sense, pure awareness, pure being within and all around. Without inside or outside. Very slowly begin to open your eyes and take in all these faces, all these different viewpoints, perspectives of awareness itself. Feel the oneness. And thank you for your practice. As you sit here with eyes open, tune into that feeling of pure awareness. You can feel that with eyes open. Maybe the sense of solidity and separateness is not so strong. Underneath that appearance or one. And what if we lived from that felt sense of connection? All right, so let's take a moment if you want to make any notes or you just want to sit with that. like to share the experience either in the chat or out loud, welcome that. Yeah, it looks like we've gone beyond words, which is a good thing. Yes, Bill.
That was very nice, very nicely done, Kevin. I had a little trouble drifting at times, but I think it's just the nature of what we were experiencing there. I found it was very beautiful. Great way to end a day in this side of the world here, in that state of mind. So thank you. That was wonderful.
Thank
Very
you,
nice.
Thank you. Monica.
Thank you, Kevin. That was beautiful and so good to see everybody. I love when you guided us to just feel like feel the sensations. It was such a good reminder. I just felt so much like tingling and spaciousness, and it switched places though, the body, and it was in the head and the brain, and then eyes, and then it just kind of moved all around. It just felt like just so beautiful, and just the feeling of that which what we're aware of, and just feeling deeply into that. um, it's such an unifying feeling, and also like letting go letting go of the self practice and the concepts, and so that's just always a great one for me. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica. Yeah, that sensory awareness is just a wonderful way to get underneath the conceptual mind, right? Underneath thinking. And when the mind is quiet, then that wholeness is just fully present naturally. Diane says, thank you, Kevin. That was a lovely experience. Safe travels on your train. See you again soon.
I should see you on Friday. Thank you.
Great.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Wendy, I think I saw your fingers go up there.
I don't have very much to say. The whole experience was, see, no words, more like there wasn't separation between all the different things I was feeling, seeing, hearing. It almost felt like hypnagogic in a way, because I'd have some little images come and they'd go. They didn't seem to really have any, there was nothing to grasp.
Yes.
Within the whole experience. So I think that's why people don't have anything to say, because there was no thing there.
Yes, exactly.
So, very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, our words just point toward that can never capture that. Anyone else before we go?
I'll say something here.
Yeah, Brian. Great.
Yeah, it was just lovely. I don't have too much to say, but it was very interesting thing I kind of experienced and learned during the cues. I was having a number of thoughts and I was trying to push them away. And then I just surrendered to the thoughts. And it was really beautiful. I had some thoughts about things I hadn't thought about in a long time. I was on my first date as a 12-year-old. It's a very sterile kind of thing with my mother driving us to a movie theater. But then I had that loveliness of these little thoughts that came just floated into more of a oneness. But I think it was great to learn a little bit not to push away the thoughts, just to flow with the thoughts. Yes. And how delightful it led me.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, thank you. Another beautiful experience, Kevin.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, that's a great pointer there, that if we don't resist or push away or try to define or grasp, allow experience to come and go, there's a different layer of connectedness available through that, that we settle into. Right. I want to thank you all for being here. We do this the first and third weekend of each month. And we also have our ROV Meditation Book Club on every Thursday evening at 5:30 Pacific time. And you can find the links to these on the Raising Our Vibration Community Facebook page. And again, I want to thank Enlightened World Network for hosting us on these weekend practices and broadcasting to that wonderful community. So check out Enlightened World if you haven't already. And if you'd like to receive the Zoom links, besides getting them on Facebook, you can email me at raisingourvibrationsk@gmail.com, and I'll put you on the email list. All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining here, whether live or on the recording, and look forward to seeing you all in the week ahead. And until then, lots of love. Blessings to all.
Bye.
Thank
Love you all.
Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.